That person who cut you off in traffic wasn't thinking about you at all, but your mind turned them into the villain of your story. What if everything you see as attacking you is actually just your own mind creating enemies where none exist? Here's what this lesson teaches. When we hold attack thoughts in our minds, we project that anger onto the world and then see vengeance everywhere, creating a vicious cycle where we're constantly defending against threats that don't actually exist. It's like wearing angry glasses that turn every neutral event into a personal attack, then wondering why the world feels so hostile. We've all been there. Your coworker sends a short, clipped email about the project deadline. 2 sentences. No greeting, no sign-off. Instantly, your mind writes the story. They're annoyed with you, questioning your competence, probably talking to others about your performance. Within minutes, you're crafting your defense. You pull up old emails showing your contributions. You mentally list all the times they've dropped the ball. By lunch, you're rehearsing confrontations, building your case against the attack. The tension sits in your chest like a weight. But here's the thing. Your mind is like a movie projector that's been loaded with the wrong film reel, a horror movie full of threats and enemies. You've been watching this terrifying movie play out on the screen of your daily life, thinking the danger is real and coming from outside. But the source was always the projector in your head. Think about how quickly your mind assigns hostile intentions to neutral events. The driver who doesn't let you merge. They're personally disrespecting you. The friend who takes 3 days to text back. They're deliberately ignoring you. The cashier who seems distracted. They think you're beneath their attention. We become collectors of evidence for prosecution. Every slight expression, every delayed response, every imperfect interaction gets filed away in our case against the world. We're constantly on trial, constantly defending, constantly preparing for the next attack. But what if we've been misreading the evidence all along? Remember that coworker's email? The one that ruined your morning. Later that day, you mention it carefully to another colleague. "Oh, didn't you hear?" they say. Their kid's been in the hospital all week. They're barely keeping it together. Suddenly, the whole story collapses. They weren't thinking about you at all. They were rushing between meetings, dealing with a family emergency, barely had time to think about the email. The vengeance you saw, it was entirely your projection. The projector in your mind had been running its familiar horror film, casting everyone as potential threats. But the actual world, it was just people living their lives, dealing with their own struggles, most of them too preoccupied to even think about attacking you. Once you see this pattern, you can't unsee it. The mind that expects attack finds it everywhere, not because the world is hostile, but because that's the only film reel it knows how to play. Watch yourself tomorrow morning. Notice how many micro-stories of threat your mind creates before you even leave the house. The neighbor who doesn't wave back. The news that seems targeted at your fears. The tone you imagine in your partner's voice. Each one feels real, feels personal, feels like evidence that you need to stay defended. But what if that neighbor was lost in thought about their sick parent? What if the news would have been the same whether you existed or not? What if your partner's tone was just morning grogginess, not a judgment on your worth? The mind protests, but sometimes people really are attacking me. And yes, sometimes conflict is real. But here's what we miss: when we're projecting vengeance onto everything, we can't tell the difference anymore. We respond to imagined attacks with real defensiveness. We meet neutrality with hostility. We create the very conflicts we're trying to avoid. The projector keeps running, and we keep believing the movie is real. But here's where everything shifts. You can change the real anytime. Not through positive thinking or pretending everyone's wonderful, but by recognizing that the projector is inside you, not outside. When you stop loading attack thoughts into your mind, something remarkable happens. That same coworker sends another brief email, but this time, without the attack reel running, you just see a brief email. Maybe they're efficient. Maybe they're overwhelmed. Maybe that's just their communication style. But it's not about you. The relief is immediate. You're not under siege. You're not the target, because you're no longer creating targets. This isn't about becoming passive or naive. It's about clarity. When you're not projecting your own inner conflict onto every interaction, you can actually see what's happening. Real problems can be addressed. Real connections can form, but the exhausting mental battlefield, that was always optional. Imagine moving through your day without the vengeance filter. The traffic isn't conspiring against you, it's just traffic. Your boss's feedback isn't a personal attack, it's information. Your friend's busy schedule isn't rejection, it's their life happening. The quiet is startling at first. Without the constant noise of perceived attacks and necessary defenses, there's space. Space to actually hear what people are saying. Space to respond rather than react. Space to choose your battles because you're not fighting shadows anymore. Your body knows the difference immediately. The shoulders drop. The jaw unclenches. The constant vigilance relaxes. You hadn't realized how much energy you were spending on defense until you stopped needing it. This is the freedom waiting on the other side of projection. A world where nothing is taking aim at you because you've stopped taking aim. Where people are just people, struggling with their own projectors, fighting their own imaginary battles. The coworker who sent that terse email. When you respond without defense, just addressing the actual content, something shifts. Maybe they soften. Maybe they don't. But you're free either way. You've changed the reel in your projector, and the whole movie is different now. You can walk through that same office, that same traffic, that same life, but without the exhausting narrative of attack and defense. Without the vengeance that was never there. Without the enemies you never actually had. The world hasn't changed, but by recognizing the projector in your own mind, you changed everything about how you see it. And that changes everything about how you live in it. The relief of discovering you've been creating your own horror movie, that's just the beginning. The real gift is discovering you can turn it off. You can live in a world where you're not constantly under attack because you're not constantly attacking. Where vengeance isn't lurking around every corner because you've stopped projecting it there. This isn't spiritual bypassing or pretending everything's fine. It's the simple recognition that we've been adding a layer of hostility to neutral events, then responding to our own projections as if they were real threats. When you stop projecting your inner conflict onto the world, what felt like a battlefield of personal attacks suddenly reveals itself as just life happening. The relief is immediate. You're no longer the target because you're no longer creating targets. And that changes everything. If you'd like more teachings and guided practices like this, you can like the video and subscribe. And now, we'll move into a short guided meditation. Let yourself settle into this moment. Find a position where your body feels supported, where nothing needs to be held or maintained. Allow your breath to find its own rhythm. No need to control it, just let breathing happen, as it always does. Notice your shoulders, they've been carrying the weight of defense. Let them soften, let them drop. There's nothing to defend against right now. Feel your jaw. It's been clenched, ready for battle. Let it release. Let your tongue rest gently. No words of defense are needed here. Place a hand on your chest if that feels comfortable. Feel the rise and fall. This is your body when it's not bracing for attack. This is you when you're not at war. If thoughts arise about people who've wronged you, just notice them, like clouds passing through the sky. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to fight them. They're just thoughts moving through. Remember the projector we talked about. Right now, it's off. No film is running. There's just this moment, this breath, this quiet space where nothing is attacking and nothing needs defending. Notice how your body responds to safety. The subtle letting go, the quiet that comes when the battle stops. Stay here as long as feels right. There's no rush. No one is waiting for your defense. No one is preparing their attack. When you're ready to open your eyes, do so gently. The world will still be there. But maybe you'll see it differently. Maybe without the vengeance that was never real. Take a breath. You're free to go about your day. Free to meet whatever comes without the heavy armor of defense. The projector is quiet. The world is just the world, and you are safe to be in it. Thank you for being here and practicing together. If you'd like, you can find a free digital ACIM resource in the description. And if you want to mark the moment, a simple comment such as, "I am grateful," is welcome. Thank you for taking this time to question the stories your mind tells about the world. It takes courage to recognize that the vengeance we see might be coming from the projector within. Be gentle with yourself as you notice these patterns. The world becomes a much quieter place when we stop creating enemies where none exist. Until next time, may you walk a little lighter.